right, ladies and germs, it is time once again for another fun-filled, action-packed, flipped geometry classroom video with your host, Coach Gu. And today, we're gonna be finding the length of a side of a triangle using trigonometry. Oh boy. So first of all, your calculator must be in degrees before you can solve. So here are the steps. All right, check this out. There's 4 steps. Follow these every single time. I'm gonna read them to you first, and then we'll use them in practice so you can see what it actually means. First, you're gonna determine your angle of reference. Okay, that's gonna be the smiley faces in these pictures. That's where you're looking from. Okay, and you're gonna put an X on the side that you need to find. That's your missing side. All right, next step. Number 2, you're gonna label your sides with opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. You're gonna do that every single time so it's very clear what side is what. Third step, you're gonna determine which sides you're using and which trigonometry ratio you're gonna need to use for those sides. And finally, the last step is to set up your equation and solve using cross multiplication. And we're gonna round our answers to the nearest 10th, okay? The 10th, that's 1 decimal spot if you didn't know. All right, so let's use these steps in practice. So first of all, we're gonna do this one on the left. Find the length of PQ. So step 1, determine your angle of reference. Well, which angle did they tell us? That's the 19 over here. So our angle of reference is gonna be from the 19 spot. So here's a smiley face. Yeah, woo. All right, now we're gonna put an X on the side we need to find. We're looking for side PQ. So that's this side over here. So I'm gonna write X right there. That's the missing variable. Next, we're gonna label our sides opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. That's in relation to the smiley face, okay? So which is the opposite side from the smiley face? That is over here, opposite. Where's the hypotenuse? Remember, the hypotenuse is always across from the 90-degree angle. That's right here. Hypotenuse. And then the adjacent is just the side right next to the smiley face. That's not the hypotenuse, which is over here. If you take care of the opposite and the hypotenuse side, then the adjacent will just be the side that's left over. That's another easy way to think about it. All right? So now I have my sides labeled. Okay, so next step 3, determine which sides we're using and which trig ratio we need for the sides. Pretty much that means look at the side that's missing and then look at one of the sides that you have and which ratio uses both of those sides. So look, on this one, we've got which sides is missing. The side that's missing is over here, the opposite. We're missing that side. That's X, right? And then which side do we know? That's hypotenuse, because that's 11 centimeters. They gave that to us. So which trig function uses the opposite and the hypotenuses? Well, let's look at SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. So, that's sine, means opposite over hypotenuse. So we're going to be using sine because that is the side, that is the trig function, the trig ratio that uses opposite and hypotenuse. So we're going to be using sine. All right. And now we're going to set up our equation and solve using cross multiplication. So what that means is we're going to be taking the sine of, well, what is the degree that is given to us? 19 degrees. 19 degrees is given to us, so that number is going to go inside the sine. So sine of 19 then equals, and now this is where I'm going to use my 2 numbers. The opposite side, what is the opposite side? It's X. So X over, so I'm going to draw little arrows to show you where I'm getting these numbers from. X over, and what's the hypotenuse length? That's going to be 11 centimeters. All right, this is just getting sloppy. Okay, get that out of here. So the X I took from the opposite side, and the 11 I took from the hypotenuse side, because remember, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, so I've got these numbers. Now, if I put in my calculator, all we're going to do is solve by cross multiplication. So all I need to do is get X by itself. This is, once again, basic algebra. So if I want to get X by itself right here, I would multiply both sides by 11, right? So I'm going to multiply the right side by 11 times 11, multiply the left side by 11. Then I'm going to drag my thing over here. It would give me 11 sine of 19 equals x. So whatever 11 sine of 19 is, that's my answer. If I plug 11 sine 19 into my calculator, I will get a number. So I'm just going to type it straight into my calculator. 11, I'll make it very obvious that I'm doing 11 sine 19. Close my parentheses. Enter. And my answer was 3.58 and then a bunch of other decimals. But we're rounding to the tenths place. So it's not going to be 3.5. That would be rounding down, and you'd be doing it wrong. So scoot it up. So 3.6 is what we round to, and that is x. The missing side is 3.6. On to the last example. Let's follow our steps. 1. Determine our angle of reference. Where's the smiley face? Which angle did they tell us? That's the 46. So my guy's going to be over here. Yeah. Okay. And then put an X on the side. We need to find AC. So that's going to be over here, X. Okay. Now we're going to label our sides with opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. That's right here. Hypotenuse. Opposite is always the furthest away from the smiley face guy. That's over here. Because the smiley face right there, okay? And then the adjacent is just what's left over. So that's this side over here, the 19.2. Next, we're going to determine which sides we're using. So look at the side that we're missing and look at one of the sides that we have. We're missing this side with the X. That's hypotenuse. And we know this side over here, that is adjacent. Now, which of these trig ratios uses adjacent and hypotenuse? If you memorized it and you said cosine, then you're right. Woo! All right. So cosine, we're going to be using cosine. So finally, we're going to set up an equation and solve using or just algebra pretty much. So cosine of what number are we using? 46, because that's the number that's given to us right here, 46. Cosine of 46 equals, and then cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so my adjacent is 19.2, and my hypotenuse is x. Bam. All right, so now I'm going to need to do some algebra to find my x. So I'm going to just switch these things around. First, I'm going to multiply both sides by x. Okay, because I don't want x on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply both sides by x times x times x. That's going to give me x cosine of 46 equals 19.2. But I'm trying to get x alone. Okay, so now I'm actually going to, let me write this up here now. X cosine of 46 equals 19.2. All right, so I'm trying to get x by itself, but right here it says x, pretty much x times cosine of 46. So I'm actually going to divide both sides by cosine of 46 now. And that will cancel the cosine of 46 on the left side and leave me with x equals 19.2 over the cosine of 46. So we're just going to plug that into the calculator and see what the calculator tells us. So 19, okay, here, ready? 19.2 divided by cosine of 46. Bam. I got 27.639. So if I round that to the tenths, it's going to be 27.6. Boom, we did it. Yeah. Wow. Woo. So this is how you use trigonometry to find the length of a missing side of a triangle. Okay? So what you're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is your turn. You're going to solve for the missing side. So if you don't have a fancy calculator that does the trig ratios, then just set up the trig equation all the way until the cross multiplication part and just stop there and we'll solve it in class, okay? But that's going to be the end of this video, guys. So hope you had fun getting triggy with it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!